Okay. He goes, check, check, check one, check two, check one. I feel like I sound like my dad right there. I don't know why.
That's a pretty good impression of him.
I call sometimes. I mean, I never call. But
Yeah.
when I do, it's Cindy can sometimes. She's like, "Oh my god, you sound like John." So
usually the times I think you sound the most like your dad is whenever you draw words out, like whenever you do like your okay, like you sound like him. You sound like him a lot because he does that a lot.
Yeah. Fletcher does that now too.
Yeah,
which is great. All right, so I'm liking where I'm sounding. I think. Does that sound
nice.
good?
You sound good on my end. I can't wait to hear this recording.
Bam.
No one's even gonna know we're not in the same room.
Woohoo! We fucking tricked them.
Yeah,
tricked them.
Pulled one over on these uppers.
Oh man, those stupid, dumb bastards.
How?
As soon as we start taking their money. Oh wait, are we recording?
Welcome to
the Up and Up.
Up and Up.
So I fucking ruined it. Damn
it. It's got to get ruined in some way every time.
I do like. I think we should do. I should go with like a welcome to the Up and Up.
That's good. I like that.
You got to do the because now the has become its own thing.
Yeah, I think we just have stylistically different these because you go for that and I do the more like Up and Up podcasts.
Ooh. Yeah. See, I sound more redneck. I like yours. Just go with yours. just hit it. It's like a gut punch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more of like the athletics route. It sounds like a sports team.
Yeah. Oh,
San Francisco 49ers.
Yes. I'm in. I'm on board. 100%.
Cool. Boy, Apollo, you're going to be a distraction this show, huh, buddy?
No. Hi, Apollo.
He's just living on this table, wanting tons of pets. Did you miss me or something? What's going on, bud?
How dare he sabotage this podcast?
Now he's just rubbing his head on my soundboard.
Yeah. Is that what you call it?
Yeah. That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one. So how have you been, Ty?
This is post upperdural.
Yeah, how is it?
You want me to run down how an epidural goes for all those who are interested to know?
Yeah, in case any of our listeners don't know, what's an epidural consist of?
An epidural is they take you under an X-ray, and they basically find your pinched nerve. Mine, it was my sciatic nerve in L5 to S1. I have a herniated disc. So what they do is they X-ray you. They find that nerve, and they take a big long-ass needle, and they start sticking it right up your back. And then they take an X-ray. They see how far in they went. If they're not in far enough, they got to go a little farther. They take another X-ray.
So wait, they take the X-ray after they put the needle in?
Yeah, while it's still in you, so they can. So it's basically like geolocating it every time they move it a little bit.
Oh my gosh!
So they just like push it in, take a shot. Nope. And I'm like staring at the television that they're doing it. He's like explaining the whole thing. It's like, see, we want to get to this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's like we're not there yet. It's like I can see that we're not there yet. It's like, and we want to go in at 2:00. I'm like, why 2:00? It's like, well, we don't want to go head in. I'm like, because then it'll just like splash around in there. Oh, he's like, we want it to go up your nerve. I'm like, all right, well, you do you. They asked me what music I wanted to listen to, so I instinctually went with Pink Floyd again.
I feel like that's a pretty good music choice for a new type of high, no matter what the high is.
Yeah, let's ride this epidural shot. So,
So which Pink Floyd album did you listen to?
I think it was, and it was really appropriate. I think it was Comfortably Numb.
Ooh, nice. That is pretty
perfect.
That is on the nose.
So after he's in far enough, he has to make sure he's like in the right spot, the other side, like the x-axis.
Ugh.
So the whole X-ray like just swings down, and then it takes pictures from your side, and then he readjusts, and then it's like the crane game. It's just like, all right, it's got it where I want it.
I was just gonna say, it's literally sounds like that the keyhole crane game.
Yeah.
Where like you gotta hold hold the button to go right, and then hold another button to go up, and just let go at the right time.
That's all. And then he's like, all right, it's in. You ready? And I'm like, let's do this. Just squeezes it, and I was like, all of a sudden, it's just like my leg came right back, because I haven't felt my leg in like 4 weeks. Like 4 weeks,
Whoa.
It's been just. I was trying to figure out how to describe it, and I figured out how to describe it because it's like you're touching it, and both you should sense your leg touching your hand and your hand touching your leg, but you don't. You only touch your hand. You only feel your hand touching your leg, and I was trying to figure out what it feels like, and it feels like a turkey, like a thawed turkey. Oh. Like when you rub your hand over like the little, like where all the feathers are, that's what it feels like, because you're not, it throws your senses off, like only feeling it from one direction.
Right.
So, but you know what the crazy thing was? Didn't hurt. Didn't even feel it at all.
Really?
Not even an ounce of it.
Now, was that because you got some sort of anesthetic, or was it because of
he gave me a shot of something. Just a local, and I mean, I didn't feel that. I felt that, I guess, the most, but he was just, Dr. Garrett Halber, if he's a listener to our podcast, A+.
Did you tell him about it?
Our podcast? No, it didn't come up while I had a needle in my back. Next time. Yeah.
Especially with it being, sort of gamified. With the whole X-ray process.
Oh man!
Could have been like, "Hey Doc, you play video games? Check out my podcast."
We could have had an upper on the higher end pay scale.
Ooh,
here.
And he would have given you an Upperdural.
Ooh, that's the name of this episode.
That's good. I'm writing that down. Hold on.
Write it down.
Upperdural.
Upperdural. Bam. Nailed it. Do you know what? Okay, so on to gaming news.
Yes.
I'm probably about 15 minutes from beating Disco Elysium.
For the second time?
No, for the first time. The second, the first attempt. I really want to talk about it, and I'm not going to talk about the ending, so I feel like I could talk about this game now. I really wanted to talk about this game. The subreddit of this episode will be Disco Elysium.
Okay.
But I thought I did it wrong. Well, there's a point in the game where it all choke points to one specific event, and my event went horribly.
Oh, no.
So I thought I did something terribly wrong. And that's just honestly, I guess, how good the writing is of this game.
That it convinced you?
It convinced me that I fucked up. I was like, I messed up. I had to have done something wrong.
That's pretty good.
So I was like, I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't really understand the mechanics, like, in the beginning. I did a lot of, like, save scumming, just kind of, like, brute force my way in, and I was, like, not the smart thing to do. So I started a second replay and, changed my character up, picked, decided to go what I wanted to do this time, knew what certain things meant, certain things I wasn't going to use, so I didn't care enough about to get, put points in and stuff. And it went so much better, but it was so different. So many different things happened, and it was because I was actually playing the game like the developer wanted me to, like, to fail these dice roll checks on, like, certain events, because I've had sometimes when you fail, you actually learn information because you failed, and if you would have passed them, it would have actually gotten you less information. Right.
I remember that being a discussion when you first brought the game up.
Yeah.
That there was a situation that was like a major mechanic in the game of like, losing rolls and like
doing
getting
it,
certain things.
yeah, and doing it in a natural way. Like they make it so, all right, you lost that roll, not the end of the world. You can come back later when you get more experience. When it makes more sense. You didn't just like all of a sudden put on like, I mean, that the one thing they do too is you have items that do change your stats, and that I would say is my biggest negative pet peeve of this game is it's fun to gather. You gather all this like items and different hats and glasses and stuff that will raise certain skills or decrease certain skills. The problem is you get into this weird repetition where every time you walk up to somebody, you have to figure out what they're going to ask you and then find out what that trait you need to have really high before to do the dice roll, and then go into your inventory and just decide to do a wardrobe change in front of this guy and then talk to him again. And they're like,
hold on 1 second before I ask another question. Let me put on a different pair of pants.
Would you like to answer that question again with a man in a duckbill visor for some reason?
What if I had glasses?
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I mean, that's kind of normal for an RPG sort of element, but I could definitely see how it would be kind of frustrating that you can, if I want to make my chances better, I have to go put this hat on instead of this other
and I know
hat.
that happens in RPGs like Fallout and stuff like that. That is present. You do have but they didn't make it very like games like that. I feel like if you're gonna do that, like let me build like outfits or something, or have a good interface that lets me swap these, because I was literally like, you have to look at every single item, just go through and hover over every single item, because you really don't remember what any of them give you.
Right, there should be something that makes it a little bit more
like if you just want to like I need like
remember.
Yeah, it's like I just need high perception, just let me sort by perception or something. I don't know. The game is fantastic. The writing, I'm going to have to look it up, because the writing in this game is so in depth. There's so much world building. I can't possibly think that they just made this all for this game. This has to be pulled from something. Like there has to be source material.
I know from that Chapo Trap House podcast, they had the people who made the game on, and like this was years and years of work. Like this wasn't like they've been working on, from my understanding, I think like over a decade. They were working on everything for this game, and they were waiting for technology essentially to hit the point to make them able to build the narrative they wanted to build.
Yeah, I mean, if this was all them, it is a masterpiece in like writing. Like anyone who is interested in literature really needs to check this game out. Just where it goes politically and paranormally and existentially, it makes you think about just of the finality of like the world. It honestly almost lets you pick what you wanted this game to be at the end. Like at the end, you are presented with all the things that you've learned, and you basically say, this was the point of the game. It's like this was the moral of the game for me. This is how this story affected me the most. This was the one. It's like it wasn't about this, it wasn't about that, because the game gets fucking weird at the end. Holy shit! Yeah. Like it's so hard. I don't want to ruin anything, but because I feel like you, Chris, really should play this game, especially you liking writing and literature as much as you do, and like descriptions. Yeah. The world building is fantastic. It's just astounding of like how much they built. There's 4 different cigarette companies that they invented. 4 different cigarette companies.
That's pretty
that
crazy.
Have branding and everything for no reason. For no reason. It barely gets mentioned like once. There's different singers and musicians that all just made up, all country music, different hairstyles that like they just casually say in the game that because of their context, you pick up that they're a hairstyle, and that's like, oh, that's a funny name for a weird hairstyle in this day and age. Like,
right.
Like, that's, you get that from just the writing. It's so descriptive. You pick it up from context. Amazing. And as I'm getting to the end, I'm pretty sure I'm there, and I'm solving everything. I still don't know. I still, like, it's one of those games where you're just like, it's like a Stanley Kubrick film. I'm like, I step back. What did I witness? What happened?
Yeah,
So,
I'm reading a little bit about it now to see if it's got any outside literature influence or anything like that.
yeah, I mean,
And from what I'm finding, it's its own thing.
that's impressive. It's so
yeah.
impressive. I cannot build more praise about the writing of that game.
It just needs to release on PlayStation already. Although I will say, to satiate me until that day comes, The Witcher is on sale on PlayStation right now for anybody who. Oh wait, when this episode releases, it'll still be on sale for like 3 more days.
Bam.
But it's $14 for the complete edition, like with all the DLC and everything.
I never finished it.
Yeah, I honestly, I put like 100 hours into it and I never finished it, and that is why I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it again.
That might be a fun game to play. I definitely need a game that's more action,
Especially
based.
for that price. That's a really solid price for that game.
Considering I already own it.
Yeah.
I was honestly thinking about picking it up on the Switch.
Yeah, I've been teasing. I've been rolling that idea around in my head for a few weeks now. I wish. So a cool thing Switch does. I was reading about this the other day. You can share your saves between Steam and the Switch.
Yes, it's the third game, I believe, that offers that ability.
If they would adopt that for the PlayStation 4 and Switch, I would buy it on both.
Ooh.
I absolutely would. Although, I want to start using... Have you ever tried to do the remote play with your PlayStation?
Yes, I do it all the time.
Is it
I
good?
Love it. It's amazing. It works so well.
Because I have a new iPad that is like good. So I've been toying around with the idea of like trying it. It's just, I don't know. It'll feel so awkward, like sitting there looking at my iPad and playing with my controller. I feel like, because I can't sit like super close to the iPad if I'm playing it. You know what I mean?
What I did was I held the controller and then put a pillow on my lap and then just lean the controller up, or I would like lay back. So like my legs were up. So then I would have like my arms extended, and then I would just have like a little pillow on my stomach, and then just lean the iPad up against the pillow. So
is there any latency or anything because of
honestly,
the streaming?
I was playing Death Stranding, and I didn't notice anything. I mean, I would say fighting games would be out. Anything competitive.
Or like shooters.
Yeah, anything competitive.
But
I mean, still playable. 100% playable. Like, don't get me wrong. It will feel pretty good. I would just say you might have, compared to like where you are in like your competitive world, you may be like few fractions of a second off. But
okay, that's not too bad.
I would say a single player. I would say you could play The Witcher. 100%. You could play The Witcher, and it would feel fine. 100%, no problem. Would feel like you're just playing The Witcher.
And you can connect the PlayStation controller to the iPad now, correct?
Yeah, it's super easy. All you have to do is hold the PlayStation button for 10 seconds. It goes into a pair mode. Go into your settings, and it's paired. You don't have to do anything else.
Via Bluetooth.
Yep. Yeah.
Damn.
You don't have to do anything else. I used to do it all the time, and then I got hurt, and work came and took my iPad because it was my work's iPad. So I kind of really wanted an iPad.
Now's a good time to get them. Their prices are pretty low, and you can
I don't
get
need
like
a good one. I just need
you can get
Air.
you can get like a model or two before. The Air 2 was awesome. It's what I had before the one I have now.
That's what I had. That's what I was playing this on.
Oh yeah, the iPad, and I think I got it when it came out for like $300. So I'm sure it's super cheap now.
Yeah. Because I think Christy would also like to have something else. Because Christy's, man, I tell you what, Apple knows what they're doing, but they're dicks.
Yeah, definitely.
She had, I don't know, something went wrong on her desktop, her laptop, her PowerBook.
Right.
Something dumb, like a video driver. It will not work anymore, and you have to take it to the brain people.
The geniuses, Ty. The geniuses.
And like at this point, it's so old. They're just gonna be like, just get a new one. Just shell out $2,000 as it's not a thing.
I mean, if you take it and try it though, sometimes they just will like straight up hook you up with like a decent deal. I think it was my iPhone 7. I was having like a weird hardware problem with where even though I would like turn all my alarms on and have my sound on, the alarm never worked.
Oh, yeah, I would get that every once in a while too.
But I got stuck in it for like forever, it seemed. So I went to an Apple store and they factory restored it and like it still would not work, and they were like, "All right, we'll just replace it." And they went to the back and got the same phone, brought it out, set it up, and then they were like, "All right, you're good to go." Because they couldn't solve it.
Well, that's a deal. I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they do, like, I think my conspiracy theory is that they have an allowance of cool shit they're allowed to do for customers for publicity reasons, like PR stuff. And they just decide how big of a deal is it to, like, hook this person up.
It's like, is this the guy we want to waste one of our tokens on?
Yeah. And, you know, I was like 23 or 24 at the time and like, you know, on social media and stuff, and they probably like were just like, he'll probably say something positive about us somewhere. He's in his mid-20s and he's white, so he's clearly got a podcast.
That's the thought you had?
Okay. I mean, I honestly, I've reached a point in my life, Ty, where it's easier for me to name people I know that don't have podcasts than it is to name people I know that do. It's just so much more efficient. Everyone has them.
Are we in a cult now? Like, do we have a podcast cult ring? Can we have friends? Is there other podcast friends?
Yeah, and we'll do crossovers. We'll get people to promote our stuff on their shows, vice versa. I actually had somebody.
Our 6 viewers will listen to their 6 viewers. Nice.
I actually had somebody reach out to my little brother through one of the gaming Discord groups he's in about wanting to be a guest on our show, which I thought was very cool.
Well, he should be goddamn honored to be a guest on this show. Tell him there's a fucking waiting list.
Yeah, I did, and I'm gonna reach out to him more and set something up.
That's business right there, Christopher. Business. That's a business decision.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to know your worth. You got to know your value.
Oh.
All right. So, do you want to get into your question to the uppers this week?
I did. It's a question to you at first as well.
Okay.
Because I like to pick your brain.
Do you want me to read the post you made?
Your broken ass brain. I want to know what Christopher thinks.
It is very broken.
Oh, that was mean.
No, you're factual.
I'm right. You broken
facts,
ass son
facts
of a bitch.
Can't be mean.
I asked the uppers. There are, I would say, I mean, what do you think? I would say maybe there's one, possibly 1.5 more video game franchise like characters that have the name recognition as Sonic and Pikachu.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's Mario.
Yeah.
The only other one
I like that you say it like you're 50.
I know, right?
You say it like my meme.
Yeah, Mario.
Are you playing
the Mario?
Are you playing that goddamn Mario game again?
How many of these games does he have? So the only one I would say Zelda would be the only one. Everyone says Zelda. No one says Link. Like everyone knows who Link looks like, but everyone says Zelda.
Right.
And then Master Chief, but everyone knows Halo.
Right.
I feel like Mario is really the only one that can, be the icon of video games that's left.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Do you think? I guess he
Donkey
had that
Kong.
ad campaign. Who?
Yeah. Donkey Kong.
Okay, Donkey Kong could probably do one. Okay.
I would say Kratos as well. I mean, he's kind of Kratos and Nathan Drake both are pretty I'm easily identifiable.
For a random housewife in Illinois, she would know who Mario is. I don't see Kratos.
I think she would recognize
Maybe.
Kratos, but not know who
she would
he
know
is
that
or
guy.
what he's from.
She would go that video game guy.
I've seen that guy somewhere.
Yeah, it's from my son plays that
Right.
with his friends. Okay, so anywho, let's just say that I'm right, and Mario is the only one left.
Okay.
We had a Mario movie.
We did.
And
it was. I loved it. I
really
will say. I will say I was a small idiot when I saw it.
I was so sad.
I
was so sad.
I could definitely see.
Do you know why it was so sad?
Why was
because
it so sad?
It was like, come on, family, take my hand. We're gonna go see my world. I'm gonna go show you what I'm into. We're gonna go watch. We're gonna go We're gonna go watch Super Mario's the movie on the big screen.
This guy jumps on mushrooms. He eats them and gets really big, and sometimes he shoots fireballs.
Wow!
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
That was all riffed.
That was. Can we auto-tune that?
We need to. Yeah. I'm not good at singing, but I can put words together.
Yeah. All right.
But no, I could imagine being older. Like if I was older when I saw it, I would probably be very, very frustrated and hurt.
I was hurt. I wanted to see Yoshi so bad. I never got Yoshi. I got a sad excuse for Yoshi.
Well, I think they didn't have the live action capabilities back then, first of all. And secondly, they also clearly did not feel beholden to the franchise at all. They were like, just slap the name on it. Kids will go see it.
I guess. But I was thinking, since we've had the success of Detective Pikachu, which I saw and I thought I didn't mind it. It was fine.
I really liked the animation.
Yeah, great art style. They were great. They were really clever with it. They made them feel, unique, but like they could inhabit that world. I mean, they were really out of place, color-wise, but still true to the source material. Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting take of actually we're gonna just make a story inside this world. It just happens to be in Pokemon world.
Yeah, I think that was the good thing they did with it. That it wasn't an
origin or
it wasn't Pokemon 2000. It was, here's a story that could happen anywhere, but just so happens to be in the Johto region.
And then we have Sonic, which is just, I don't know if it's people didn't want it to fail because of the redesign, or they just wanted to see a train wreck, or they miss Jim Carrey, but it's number one, right, in video game movies, box office wise.
Yes, I believe that's true.
Is it name recognition? That's where I was thinking. Is it just the name recognition? Does Sonic have that power?
I personally think that. So, have you heard the theory at all that this design was actually the design they intended to release the whole time?
I've heard that that this was like a clever marketing campaign.
I think it was twofold. I think one, it was to make people like Sonic's true design. So they released the terrible one first and just was like, listen, people are going to be outraged because we know how video game fans are. And then we can release the one we are actually going to use, and everyone's going to love it. But also, people are going to hear and care about the movie knowing that we made that change. It reached so many more people.
Oh, my God. If somebody thought this up, if there was a dark room and executives were just thinking this up, this was brilliant. This
Absolutely.
was so genius to do. And it worked so well. They have memes now. They owned the internet. Everybody was watching that movie. So if that was just a clever joke or a ploy, that's genius. And I don't even know if they should ever come out and say it, but I kind of want them to do that. It's like, just tell us. Like after you just stop selling the DVDs or something.
Yeah.
20 years, we're not making them anymore. It was a joke.
Gotcha.
So much money we made. So much money. We said it was going to cost us $100 million to make. It cost us 20. We made 130.
Well, I think something Sonic benefited from, though, too, besides the whole controversy with the animation of Sonic, was that it is Sonic's fan base, or people who know Sonic, they would see the movie ironically.
They would.
Whether or not it was the good or bad version of Sonic, I would go see that movie.
They're so crazy. I don't know. I don't know if there's a culture that I could compare them to. They're so...
I mean, honestly, I would say the closest thing to them, please, if we have any furry listeners, don't take insults to this.
Well,
it's definitely...
Don't they mingle a little bit too, though?
Yeah, but I think it's definitely close to that because, like, they're very passionate about Sonic. They love him, and they want SpongeBob to have his baby.
Sometimes.
That artwork is out there.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it... I don't know. I feel like the Sonic games are a licensed, published VR chat room. It just goes off the rails sometimes. Like Sonic's making out with a princess. Sonic, like a real life princess. Sonic's running from an orca whale. What is happening? Sonic's a werewolf.
You have Rouge the Bat, who is a bat with fur everywhere except for her very human fleshy boobs.
I know.
Like,
so weird.
It is a weird franchise. But I think the memeability of Sonic and, like, the fact that it is like a big part of, like, humor on the internet, people were going to see it no matter what.
But still, yeah, just so much. Like, Sonic gets memed.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
So that got me thinking, though, because if it was, just Sonic fans, are there Mario fans? Are Mario fans just as passionate? And there clearly are. There's Mario diehard fans. There's Nintendo fanboys. There's that crew. So I was thinking, we've got a success in Pikachu. We've got a success in Sonic. What would make a successful Mario movie in the year of our Lord 2020? Who is in it? Is it animated? Is it something like hybrid, like Detective Pikachu, or set in that world? Does somebody from our world invade the Mushroom Kingdom? Does someone from the Mushroom Kingdom get stuck? Does one of them I wanted to mention a user? Well, you could talk, but let me look them up.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I just think it would have to be more Detective Pikachu-y in one way or the other. It's either a human thrown into an animated world or some of the Mario characters thrown into the real world. But I also think that it would have to be like, it should be like in the video game where like Mario doesn't talk, right?
Oh,
so
wow. Oh.
Your protagonist in the movie is like silent.
You think you could pull that off?
Everyone addresses it.
Making this a kids movie?
I would say PG, like a movie for kids that adults would find humor in.
So the same thing as Detective Pikachu.
Right. Like, imagine...
So now we're just kind of on the heels of Detective Pikachu, I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I think...
fresh?
I think if you do a more adult-themed full cartoon, you run the risk of it feeling, like, not as interesting or good. But if you do the like, I also don't think you could do full live action, just because like nobody looks like Mario looks, nobody looks like Luigi looks or Peach looks, and like their character traits are so specific. I think that it would be difficult to like have a real person look like them. But I also think like one of the things I would imagine would be super duper funny is if it's like a situation where like a human is thrown into the Mario world. If like he walks up to a Toad to start talking to it and it talks like Toad does in the game, like he walks up to it, it's just like, and it's just like, what? Oh my God, what are you saying?
All right, okay, so you're thinking somebody from our world ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to do it. Like that way, it's like
he just falls down a pipe.
Animated. Yeah, it's like Blue's Clues style.
Space
like,
Jam.
It would honestly, that would be what would be really cool. Is like, yeah, Space Jam-esque. Like he's walking down the street and he steps over a manhole and it just goes whoop whoop whoop, and then he like gets sucked down it.
Who is this man? Who is this man, Chris? I want to know, who is this man? Is he a businessman? Is he Jack Black? Is he?
I would say no. I don't think it's Jack Black. I think it would have to be
like Danny DeVito.
No.
I
would say it should be like
someone really happy. Someone is just gonna be like just excited to be there, or someone's just gonna be miserable to be there.
It should be either a
Is it someone who? How about a kid that knows, like, completely knows about Mario, and he's like, it's real.
Yeah, I think that would be a really interesting way to do it. And then eventually he like goes back to the real world and he's like stomping on manhole covers trying to get back down.
And he goes into a depression.
Yeah, like
we make it like a Joker film.
Yeah, absolutely. And he becomes Bowser.
Yes.
Like he returns to the world eventually and becomes Bowser. Or Wario or one of the bad guys.
Ooh, there you go. A Wario origin story.
Yeah, that would but like you don't know it until the movie's over.
Yes. It like at the end the M just turns upside down.
Yeah, it turns upside down and then it like cuts back to him and he's just like eating raw garlic. Getting all of his powers up.
Oh, that's funny.
No, but I just think I think personally it would be so funny for them to just really embrace the world of Mario and be like, yep, Mario doesn't talk, but Luigi talks a little bit more than Mario. Peach talks a lot. Bowser talks. These Toad guys just scream at you and who knows what they're saying. That all together I think would be really good. I think also too one of our listeners mentioned the new Donk City, Cody Krotzer.
That's what I was actually looking up right now. Yeah.
So yeah, Cody Krotzer,
that's a whole place you could go.
Right. So Cody Krotzer said, "I don't see a live action Mario working out based on the first attempt and the pure wonder that the world he runs through. Although I could see them playing around with the concept around New Donk City, Mario Odyssey opened the door to the idea that Mario isn't a human from our world. A live action could be possible similar to Sonic in that Mario himself and the characters from his world are animated while interacting in a real-world city. I'd pay attention to something like that." And I think that would be, I think it would be really
That's like cool your thing. World flip-flop. Like your idea flip-flopped. Mario coming to our world.
Right. Well, and I think what would be really funny to do is like if the movie came off of Super Mario Odyssey, where like he lands in New York City but thinks it's New Donk City. So he's like running around looking for the lady that was mayor, and he like is trying to like kick people off their scooters and stuff, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" And like,
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Super Mario Odyssey 2 crossover. He goes to different countries of the world, and Bowser's taking them all over and like converting them back into like Super Mario World. So they're all they're all turning into the video game world, and Mario has to stop them. and they do cross promotion with the game release. Yeah,
that's really good. And the whole concept behind that could be that Bowser's going around turning these real world places into part of the Mario world, so that it's harder for Mario to track down Peach and get her back.
Bam. He's hiding Peach. And he has, like the castles, he has to go to every single one.
Right.
And Toad's there. She's not here, Mario. You're beat. I'm sorry. I don't know why you thought, that's sorry, bud.
And
Thanks
Bowser
for saving
me. Bowser could just be like, you've found every place I've tried to hide in our worlds before, but let's expand those, or let's make our world a little bigger. So he's going around and, it's the Mario Ray or something like that.
And it is the laugh and everything.
Yeah, and he's just like bombing cities and turning them into Mario landscapes. So like all the people on the streets turn into like Koopas in suits and stuff. And,
I love it.
I love Goombas it. And
yes,
that would be a pretty good way.
And yes, and they all have to look really, really good, like really high res, like Koopa Troopa. Don't make them weird looking. Make them colorful. Make them fun, but make them realistic looking. Oh yes, I love it. Do you want to hear do you want to hear where I went though?
Yeah, I was just gonna say real quick. You can do a real morbid scene too, where like Bowser's passing over the Middle East and they're calling a drone strike, and it just like the missile in the middle turns into a blue shell.
Oh.
Like in the middle of the missile dropping, he turns it into Mario Land, and it just the missile becomes a blue shell and explodes.
That's terrible.
And someone loses Mario Kart.
Oh my goodness.
Is that too far?
Too far.
Okay.
Far.
I found the line.
You found the line. You went past the line, and you
sometimes
blew it up
you
with
just
a drone strike.
Sometimes you don't see the line until you've passed it, and I see the line now.
You didn't see the line because you were flying a drone.
Right. I mean, an unmanned aircraft vehicle, but
yeah,
sure.
So anywho. I'm going to bring it back to a lighter place, a kinder place. I'm going to take it back to Saturday morning. How old are you?
I just turned 27, but I know where you're going with this. And yes, I used to watch Boomerang, which had this same cartoon.
Oh, okay. See, I watched this. Actually, I don't think I was around for the original airing of this either. But there was a show, Saturday morning cartoon, Hanna-Barbera. All the characters from Hanna-Barbera got in cars and decided to go on a race. And it was wacky races. Yeah.
Yes.
It was such a fascinating show. The one reason that just there was no main protagonist. That's what was the whole hook for me for this show. Anytime you could watch this show, a random character would win. And it was it's like, yay! That character won. Because you like certain ones a lot more than other ones. The villain even won once, which blew my mind.
Yeah, it was one of the first shows I can remember where like, oh, the bad guys definitely won this time.
Yeah. Snively Whiplash.
Yes.
And the dog.
I forget the dog's name. Dastardly...
Dudley? Doodley?
Yeah.
Something.
That could be.
Man. But they had Captain Caveman. Was the Flintstones in it? Someone from the Flintstones? I mean, Captain Caveman was like a spinoff from the Flintstones.
Yeah. I don't know if... No, I don't think anyone from the Flintstones was. I feel like the Dune Buggy was, right? But maybe I'm wrong with that. The Dune Buggy that talked.
Oh, yeah. There was the weird flying machine. There was so many weird ones.
It was very weird. But yeah, man, so like Mario Kart, but like a TV show?
Yes. So that's what I was thinking. We take wacky races, and because here's the name, dude. Here's the name. Super Mario Cartoon.
Okay. That's a really good name.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have all the characters. Really, you have all the characters, and you give it a story, and they all drive around, and sometimes if characters win, they got the power-ups. I would love for a weird, like, racing story where all the characters are, like, on the sidelines talking trash, like
Oh my god! And
Mario
like,
and Luigi are hitting on like trying to like always get with or pick up Daisy and Peach and they just keep failing because they're all they just keep stumbling over their own words, and Luigi doesn't want to, like, is quiet and is shy. Yeah. Oh, I just would love this, like a weird little drama.
Lakitu can do like the commentary, the guy in the cloud.
Yeah.
He like flies around the track and gives you commentary when like we're not in on a specific racer.
Oh, I would love it so much.
Yeah, boy, that's a great idea.
I would love that show. I would watch that show.
Nintendo.
Nintendo, you're welcome.
You can buy this idea from us for a good price. Talk to our people.
Now, here's an idea that I don't think Nintendo's going to want to buy. We had another upper. A new upper, right in. He went dark, but
he did,
and I love it. I love it.
It is really good.
So
I love this. I love a gritty reboot of something.
I know, right? That's what we're in. We're in that gritty reboot kind of world. Like
this is the version that does the blue shell.
This is the Academy Award show. This is Joker was where a comic book movie gets an Emmy. This is where a video game gets an Emmy.
Yes.
All right. So, Anthony Schnapp writes in, 17 years have passed since we have watched Mario and Luigi save New York. But after the events of the first film, the brothers were never the same. When Mario's health failed 5 years ago, so did the brothers' plumbing business. With his brother gone, his relationship with Peach over, Luigi, Mario, felt lost in the city he once called home. Haunted by visions of his past and driven by the loss of everything he knew, Luigi finds himself sneaking through a portal back into a radically changed Mushroom Kingdom. With King Koopa gone, situations have greatly improved, but a dark underbelly is rising. Luigi shortly finds himself in trouble with local mob bosses and is forced into death kart racing. Yes! Let's just take Mario Kart to Mad Max.
Right. And keeping John Leguizamo as Luigi is incredible. That would be
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a caveat. P.S.
Yeah, he commented afterwards.
He commented it on his own epicness. Fantastic. Could you just imagine like Mario Kart, just spike shells? Like literal spike shells. And
Koopa Troopas like in Mad Max, they climb this, bendy pole on top of their cart.
Just suiciding, bombing, and
they just like fling themselves at other carts and like tuck into their shell.
Just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dark.
Wow. That would be really, really good.
That'd be dark. And you know what? Detective Pikachu, they did something different, so why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
they certainly could.
The people that grew up with Mario, we're old now. I want to see Mario get it on with Peach. I want to see a sex scene, like a high budget one. Yeah, why not? I just feel like the size doesn't work. Like, she's too tall. Also, like, she's too tall. She's too tall.
She is a lot taller than him, but
like,
I think
like his nose would go in her.
Yeah, but I mean, some people are like into that, man.
I guess
Mario's a short king.
Do you think she's into it, or do you think she's just like, I just need you around to save me from Bowser? Do you think she's into Bowser at this point?
I mean, there are lots of jokes on.
I feel like she spent more time with Bowser than she spent with Mario at this.
That's true. I mean, she probably knows Bowser better. That's
he's probably got a room for her and stuff at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And like that meme of like them laying in bed together and just being like, "So, are we ever gonna tell Mario like what this is?" Apollo, leave that button alone.
Hey, you know what? Everyone loves a bad guy.
They do. I mean, it's especially like Bowser. Bowser's a pretty likable villain as far as video games go. He's never done any. I mean, he's kidnapped, but who hasn't?
Have you seen him in a top hat?
That's true. He looks very dapper in a top hat.
I was
going to
say dapper. Dapper. Frou-frou.
Frou-frou. That is not an
Lackadaisical.
adjective I've heard in a while.
That-
Frou-frou is a good one.
That is a... I don't even know if he's alive. We're going to say he's dead. Because then he sounds more distinguished.
Chances are.
We're going to sound... That is a word that I got from the late, great... God, what was his name? I'm blanking on his first name. Professor Parent-Chief.
Oh, I don't know if I know who that is.
No, you probably don't. He was my art history professor in college.
There'd be no reason for me to know who he is.
Yeah, no. I don't know why you thought you would.
Well, I think it was the conviction with which you said his name.
Oh, like our old pal, Professor Parent-Chief.
I was like, should my path have crossed? Like,
Yeah.
Was he a main quest line character? Is he somebody I should have met at
Oh,
this point in my game?
No. Did I fuck up? No.
Yeah, I was like, oh, where did I mess up?
This is a deep pull for even my brain. But yeah,
Personal pull.
he was he was a Hessian, he was a gay Hessian art history professor.
Okay.
And he was like 80 years old.
Wow.
And he just everything that was art, he just said it, and it was like, this is art, this is how it is, this is why it is. And it was one time, and he never really was very descriptive, like a poetic description, I would say.
Right.
Everything was very stern. These colors are, he used this hue for this color scheme. Everything was very scientific sounding. Nothing was pretty. Nothing was beautiful or elegant. But one time, for some reason, this one painting, he goes, it's very frou-frou. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that is unusual.
He had an opinion about that. I don't know what it was, but he had an opinion about that painting. It's like frou-frou.
Man, that is something I feel like I've only heard in like episodes of Three's Company. Not to, I wasn't old enough to watch it as it aired, but I watched a lot of Nick at Night.
He might have been a Three's Company kind of guy.
Who wasn't?
I
Jack
wasn't.
Tripper, I'll tell you. Really?
I wasn't. I never saw it.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I lived with my grandma, and we pretty much only watched Nick at Night.
Oh, see, Nick at Night.
Especially when they got, like, their own channel. Then that's all we watched.
I was a MASH guy.
MASH was really good. MASH was like we could catch reruns of MASH in the afternoon, like 4 to 6.
You could still catch MASH on the afternoon 4 to 6.
Yeah. And then
MASH is amazing, and
I think 6 is when Wheel of Fortune came on. So I think so. And we would watch Wheel of Fortune.
Pat's back.
Yeah. We would watch Wheel of Fortune, and then we didn't watch Jeopardy because Jeopardy was for hoity-toity people who think they're better than you. So we didn't watch Jeopardy.
My dad loves Jeopardy.
I'd love Jeopardy.
He's so good at it.
Yeah,
I think I was a child, so he would just say things.
Yeah,
and
you're
like,
wow,
that was right.
Like,
he's saying words to things. I don't have an answer for that question.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think of then we would usually watch like some sort of TGIF show most days or whatever. America's Funniest Home Videos. We watch that every day. Nice. And then at like 8:00 is when like Three's Company, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times. We'd watch all that sort of stuff. We watched a lot of garbage like that. It's surprising to me that you've never seen Three's Company. That feels like that's a show your dad would have watched.
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think he likes Star Trek. My dad was a movie guy. He likes Seinfeld.
I was going to say, he definitely was more of a movie guy too, though. Which
Seinfeld.
Makes sense.
He was a big Seinfeld guy. I think Seinfeld was really the first show I ever really knew him liking. So, I guess I'm gonna go back to beating Disco Elysium because I'm like
Nice.
15 minutes from it. Thanks for making me film this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I apologize for taking you away from your game.
When do I get paid, by the way?
Well, that's probably pretty far out.
Where's our money?
And not like
Chris? Where's
not
the
like
money?
far out in like a radical surfer dude way, far out. But like
Chris, you're
right now. Listen, Ty, you gotta lose money to make money.
Chris.
Isn't that the saying?
what? What? I'm out.
Right now,
I'm out,
baby.
Good night, uppers.
We're losing
You're on
money.
your own. Peace. Find some other
All right.
show to find one of these other 1,000 podcasts that exist.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Help us get out there. Tell your friends who like video games about us.
I want money.
Reach out to us on all social medias at
100%
upNup
of money
Pod.
right now.
I hate to tell you, Ty, podcasting is not a cash cow.
This is how you make money, right? This is how the kids do it. I'm gonna be like that ninja.
They
He
do
makes
it
some
by
money.
being attractive and posting pictures of themselves.
Well, I'll 100% do that.
Okay.
I guarantee that there are some people out there that would find me somewhat tolerable to look at.
I mean, that's how I would describe myself. If people asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would be like, I'm a niche taste. Like there's not a lot of people who would be into me, but the people who would be into me are going to be really into me. Yeah.
They're like, well, apples are good. I know, right?
Uh-huh,
like,
exactly.
That didn't answer my question, but apples.
All right. upNup Pod on everything. Email us. Keep track of our Facebook for more questions and things for discussions for our upcoming episodes. And
I want to pick your brains. Let's get a discussion. We'll have a talk, a conversation.
have a seat. Stick
Have a seat.
around. You hungry? All right. So what outro do we want to test this week, Ty? We had discussed some that we want to
discussed some. I think we should go out like the superhero, but I feel like we should do it together. But I don't know how we would plan that. So
yeah, that's tough.
I think you do it, and I'll do it. Should I do it?
Yeah, you do it.
All right, here we go. Up and away! Did that do it?
I don't know if that was the one.
That wasn't it?